This Week in Startups is brought to you by Squarespace. Turn your idea into a new website. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial. When you're ready to launch, use offer code TWIST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. LinkedIn. A business is only as strong as its people, and every hire matters. Go to linkedin.com/twist and get a $50 credit towards your first job post. And Cabbage. Get the money you need to run your small business today. Go to Cabbage.com to get started. That's KABBAGE.com. Upcoming launch events. Get your free Founder Pass or purchase a VIP ticket for Launch Scale in San Francisco, October 7th and 8th at launchscale.net/tickets.
Hey everybody, welcome to a very special episode of This Week in Startups. I have one of my favorite investments on the podcast and one of my favorite founders. Her name is Valerie Lopez, and she is the CEO and co-founder of Shoot My Travel. Now you're probably wondering what a company like Shoot My Travel does. Anybody want to take a guess in the class? It's a very simple idea, and the best ideas I've ever invested in, from Uber to Thumbtack to Calm.com to LeadIQ to Fitbod, are so easy to explain. And this is one of the secrets to being a great investor and, in fact, a great entrepreneur. Doing something incredibly simple, extremely well, is the road to great success, and staying focused on that. So let's look at what Shoot My Travel does. Well, you go to a city. You go to Kyoto, you go to Tokyo, you go to Paris, you go to New York, you go to San Francisco. What do people want to do in 2019? Well, I'm sure they might want to take a tour of the city. And when they take that tour, they want to take out that $1,299 iPhone or that $699 Pixel, and they want to use that beautiful camera. And they want to share photos with their family. So much so that people are literally killing themselves to take selfies. We had a tragic instance of a couple falling off of Yosemite's Half Dome, I believe, taking a selfie. And this is a woman who climbs mountains, fell off a mountain. People really want to get a great shot. And it's such a crazy issue that people are now calling husbands on Instagram insta-husbands. So I have some friends of mine who say they're insta-husbands, and they feel like their whole life is taking pictures of their spouse to put them on Instagram. Putting all this aside, a photographer costs $200 or $300 to come out with you for an hour or two and take your pictures. Hiring a tour guide costs $200 or $300 an hour. Wait a second. What if you put those two things together? Chocolate, peanut butter, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Here we go. Two great tastes that taste great together. When I heard this idea, I said, that is a service I would use. That's a service a millennial would use, and it's a service my parents would use, might even be a service a business might use someday for a retreat, etc. When I heard it, when I met the founder, I immediately told Valerie. I met you, I guess, at the Emerge conference, great conference down in Miami. And I think we might have also gotten a referral eventually, and then you had emailed me direct. I mean, you came across multiple channels.
I stalked you everywhere.
Great. Smart idea. And so tell everybody, how did you come up with the idea? And then how did you get it started?
So we came up with the idea, myself and my co-founder, Camilo, and I'm a professional photographer. He's a designer, and we work for a design studio. We traveled a lot and realized through all these trips that we didn't have any good pictures of us during the trip.
That was the aha moment.
That was the aha moment.
We spent thousands of dollars going somewhere, and we didn't have a good photo.
No good photos of us.
Everybody's had that experience, right?
We would ask people on the street, hey, can you please take a picture of us? It would get annoying after the third hour of asking people to please teaching them how to use the iPhone, the camera.
They might run off with your camera. There's always that fear. They drop it.
That never happened. But so we put up together a scrappy website, and I launched it to my friends that were photographers, and they were like, this is a brilliant idea. Why didn't somebody come up with this before? And we were like, oh, well, good. So we let it run. And months after, my mom came to visit me from Colombia. So she brought a box of pictures, and she said that was my heirlooms. And in those photos were some photos of my dad. And I told her what we were working on. I told her, hey, we're pairing travelers with professional photographers. And she started crying. And I didn't understand why until she told me that my dad back in the 80s used to actually hire professional photographers during my family's trips.
Oh, wow.
So it was...
That is some weird, synchronicity.
Weird synchronicity. My dad passed away months before I was born, so I didn't get to meet him, but I like grew up with all these amazing pictures throughout my house, and I didn't realize that it was because of the professional photographers.
Wow. So maybe that idea was percolating in the back of your brain. You had these beautiful photos and it just sat there. So you launch it with no code, no revenue, and no investment.
Correct.
You put up a Squarespace website or something?
Put up a Squarespace website.
No, literally put up a Squarespace website?
Literally put up a Squarespace website.
Well, then use the promo code TWIST for 10% off. Well, that's amazing and delightful.
We got a lot of traction, a lot of press. So we were featured on The Guardian. That was a big breakthrough. It was organic press, and that got us to 3,000 photographer applications, our first booking. And we went from doing one booking a month to over 500. So,
wow. Amazing.
Yep.
How much does it cost? And what has the reaction been from customers? Like the most interesting reactions?
The average package is $280, and customers love it. They are like the reviews that we get is the best thing that we receive on a daily basis. Is we have the most amazing pictures. The experience was amazing. My husband wasn't tired or wasn't angry at me during the whole trip because of the Instagram husband. So it was.
It is a phenomenon.
Yes. Yes, we have a lot of our customers that are males. They actually write on their request like, "I'm tired of being the Instagram husband, and I just want to hire a photographer for an hour."
Yeah.
So
280 buys me 2 hours, 1 hour, 3
1
hours?
hour.
1 hour.
Yeah.
And how many locations do you think I can hit in 1 hour for $280?
So in
2?
1 hour, you can do 2 location tops, depending on the proximity.
Sure.
Yeah.
So if you're in San Francisco, you can do the Golden Gate Bridge and then maybe zip over and get Alcatraz in the background or something.
Yeah.
Or if you were in Paris, you can do the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre.
Yeah.
Pretty
both
easily,
at the same
right?
time.
Yeah. Is there a limit to the amount of pictures they'll take, or is it?
So there's not a limit of the amount of pictures they'll take, but there is a limit on the ones that you can download. So we add on additional pictures, and then you can purchase additional pictures.
Got it. How many pictures do I get for $280?
25 photos.
Oh, so it's about $10 a photo.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And how many photos do they take?
So they take an average of 100 to 150. You get on your roll.
And then you pick from the roll which ones you want to download, and you own the rights to them forever.
Yes.
So that's pretty amazing.
Pretty affordable.
What about videos?
Not video right now. Video is another animal. There's a lot of editing back and forth.
Got it.
So for now, we're sticking to travel photography.
I would think that some people might like an upcharge of just a very simple short videos where you shot them even with an iPhone and then just put them into a camera roll and they could edit them later. Like
that's a great idea.
Doing the tall ones and just saying like, I'm going to just give you some, what do they call the vertical
like
videos?
For the Insta stories.
Like Insta stories, like stories-based videos. You say, I'm just going to we'll take 10 of them. You can then slow them down or put filters on them however you want. But let's just do 5 30-second videos. Because that would be easier than taking the photos probably.
We can bundle them in the package, photo plus 10-second, 30-second videos.
This is a great idea, I think, when you get a lot of creative feedback. You've gotten a lot of creative feedback. How many cities are you in?
So 480 currently and 100 countries.
And how many photographers have gotten paid through the platform? I know you have a large number of them.
So we have 75% of our photographers have been gotten paid.
Yeah. And thousands of photographers? Or
yeah. We have over 1,000 photographers. And right now we have a waiting list that has been a genius marketing tactic because we have more photographers on the waiting list than we actually have on the platform.
And what does it take to become a certified photographer? And then what's their take versus your take? Yeah.
To become a certified photographer, well, you have to study photographer or at least have 2 years of experience being a photographer with customers because it's different if you're a landscape photographer than actually dealing with paying customers and how picky sometimes they are.
Yeah.
And then we take a commission per every booking. So we take 35% of every booking and we take the rest.
And the business is on fire. You've been doubling revenue year over year, tripling revenue.
Tripling revenue month over month over last year. Yeah.
Tripling year over year.
Yeah, year over year.
And then 10, 20, 30% month over month?
20% month over month this year.
What does it take to sustain that level of growth? Is that happening organically with your business or does that take effort?
So it's a mix of both. A lot of content creation on a daily basis through all social media platforms. A lot of new email marketing for us is a mine. So it's the gold putt.
Really?
Yes. And creating articles about travel, sharing the stories of the photographers and the actual travelers that love to be featured on the blog.
Yeah.
And then a mix of like ads, AdWords, obviously, Facebook, Instagram.
I think what's interesting about your business too is there's been this new movement, and I hear it's quite controversial. And so when we get back from this quick break, I want you to tell us what's happening in major cities like Venice and Paris, Venice, Italy, and Paris, France, with the top 10 list of 10 best selfies to take and the extraordinarily large crowds that are causing issues in cities where a bridge in Venice, Italy, I understand, is so popular that they're afraid the bridge might collapse because so many of these Insta models, Insta-addicted people want to take a picture on that bridge. You may have to wait half an hour. Is that true or not? When we get back on This Week in Startups. I know you want to turn your idea into a beautiful website. You want to start a company. You want to start a project. Maybe you want to blog or maybe publish some content. Maybe you want to sell a product or even a service. Maybe you want to promote your physical or online business. Well, Squarespace is the answer. You know this. I use it. You use it. We all love it. Why do we love it? Because it provides beautiful, customizable templates and such powerful e-commerce functionality. And you put those two things together and wow, that is catalytic. And you can buy domains there, of course, from over 200 extensions. So you find a great name for your business. You put up a beautiful website from all those gorgeous responsive templates that work on iPad, phone, desktop, wide desktop, narrow desktops. It just works. And you get a great domain name with it. You get great analytics. You get the search engine optimization, free and secure hosting, and 24/7 award-winning customer support. Here's Presh making a new website for us, superhumanwallpaper.com. I asked him to make an example website as fast and as beautifully as he could, and look what he did. He browsed the templates, he selected a beautiful photography template, and he creates an active website within minutes. Here it is, superhumanwallpaper.com, a site to showcase superhuman inbox zero images. Very clever, Presh. Okay, here's what you need to do. You think beautiful website with great functionality and great support. I want you to just think Squarespace. So go to squarespace.com and get a free trial right now. And when you're ready to launch your website, you just use the offer code TWIST and you get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Please don't forget to use TWIST, TWIST, when you launch your website. Okay, thanks again to Squarespace for being one of our longest running partners on This Week in Startups. It really means a lot to me. The company's done amazing. It's been great to grow alongside of you and the whole team over there. So thanks again, Squarespace. All right, let's get back to this amazing episode. All right, welcome back to This Week in Startups. I'm Jason Calacanis. I'm an angel investor. I met Valerie at Emerge.
Correct.
Do you remember our first interaction?
So the first interaction was me reading your book and then emailing you a couple of times.
Okay.
Then
I got
you
back to you, what, after 2 or 3?
Never.
No?
No, you didn't get back to me.
Oh, God.
But it was
terrible.
fine because when I came to the launch interview, you were like, oh, I read your email. Thank you for emailing me. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, he did
I do
really.
read them all.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm in line or I'm with my kids and I can't get back to everybody. That's the biggest challenge I have is getting through my email. So now I'm coming up with systems. I won't say exactly how we're doing it, but I'm coming up with systems to deploy my team to respond to more responsibly. But we got you to the accelerator interviews.
Yes.
And then tell everybody what that was like.
It was nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
I was nervous. It was first time pitching in 3 minutes and showing product and traction, which was great because it's a great exercise and every founder should do it. And then coming to the accelerator was, I think, the breakthrough for the company. We had been trying to raise money in Florida and it was really hard. Everybody closed the door on us. They didn't see the big picture or vision.
Yeah.
So it was the before and the after Shoot My Travel when we came to launch.
Amazing. I can't understand why people would not understand this business. You make about whatever, $75, $100 every time somebody books a photographer.
$100.
$100. Yeah. You could easily book 1 million sessions a year. Yeah. I'm not saying easily, but listen, I maybe my worldview is completely warped now because of watching so many companies go supernova. But to me, it seems like it would be easy for you to do 1 million photo shoots.
Yeah, it wouldn't be crazy at all.
It's not crazy. 1 million is 3,000 a day or 2,800 a day or something, right? 3,000 times 3,000, 900,000. So anyway, just ballpark. Somewhere, 2,000 to 3,000 photo shoots a day. Now, if you had 30 cities, that'd be 100 photo shoots in each city.
Yeah. That's
That
what we're
seems-
doing in Paris a month. So
100 a month right now.
Yeah.
So to do 100 per day, you would have to 30x in Paris.
Correct.
Which 30xing seems crazy, except when you've seen something double every 3 months, and then it does not seem crazy anymore. When we teased during the break the selfie traffic jams, is this actually a real thing that's occurring in cities, or is it just like media hype, fake news?
I think it's a little bit of media hype, fake news. It's always been like that. People have always been crazy about taking pictures, either for posting on Instagram or to share it, or just
Well, no, but
say,
Instagram didn't exist. So
Yeah.
pre-Instagram, were there locations where people would go to take a picture, like the Walt Disney statue or in front of Snow White's castle in Disneyland? Was there like a moment in time where, like, because of Instagram now it's gone supernova and it's like a nuisance?
Yeah, I think it has helped a lot. But then that's where we come in, because you go with a photographer and we'll get you the best shot with no tourists in the background. So you
Got
pay
it.
$280, you get the best shot of all your Instagram friends.
Right,
So,
and you're in and out of there quicker.
yes.
So it's not like Venice is crumbling under the weight of selfies right now.
No, I don't really think so.
Yeah. I know in San Francisco, just anecdotally, I used to live in like the Pack Heights, like an area they call Cow Hollow, and the Miss Doubtfire house was there. And somebody's like, "Oh, you live by the Miss Doubtfire house?" I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Yeah, don't you ever see it?" I was like, "No, never seen anybody in front of it." I drove by it the other day. There were at least 15 people in front of the Miss Doubtfire house
Pictures.
taking pictures. And I'm like, "Oh my God, you people are idiots." Like, unless like you have some serious Miss Doubtfire like fetish or something, like it's just a nondescript house. There's 1,000 like it. Like, what are you doing? This poor person who lives there has to have 15 person taking pictures of their house every day. What did you learn in the accelerator about the no's you got in Florida as an investor from investors to the yeses you got in Silicon Valley and beyond?
Showing market size is really important, and like showing that travel is not a niche market, and that this can scale into other verticals of photography, which is our ultimate goal. That was a big aha moment for us.
Got it.
Yeah.
So how did you describe the market size previously, and then what was the unlock with investors?
So before we would do like, oh, we're going to take 2% of the travel market, which was very tops down, and it was very uncomfortable
Like
to
a
even share.
top-down
Yeah.
view of it. You just got a $2
Yeah.
billion travel market, or $2 trillion travel thing,
market, and we're going to take 1% of it.
which makes no sense because that was all travel.
Yeah.
Like hotel, food, flights.
Not experience focus.
Yeah. So it's like those top-down metrics never work because they have no basis in reality. So you built a bottom-up.
Yeah, we build a bottom up, and we focus on one city, Paris. The amount of customers that were there based on demographics, age, and the amount of people that were actually like booking experiences like Airbnb experiences or anything experience oriented.
Right.
And then we decided to say, okay, how many bookings have we done in Paris to date with how many photographers, and then how can we scale that just in Paris alone? And then how can we do that in the next 5 cities?
Got it. So you said, here's one city, Paris. It has this profile. We know there are 300 cities like Paris in the world that have similar profiles. Imagine if we had this percentage of Paris. Okay, now hold that in your head. We got 1% of people coming to Paris to engage us.
Yeah.
Now imagine 300 cities. So what is the number of people who come to
Paris?
To Paris, yeah.
There's
just
17 million travelers a year.
come to Paris.
Yes.
And that's not France. That's Paris.
Yes, just Paris.
Wow.
Yeah.
17. And how many people live in Paris? Like 5 million or something? It's
I
probably
don't know the exact
a
stat of
fraction of
that.
that. So that's a lot of people coming through the city.
I think it's the 3rd most visited city in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
And New York, and what are the other ones, you know?
They were on the top 10, and
Yeah.
I think the first one was Bangkok last year. Yeah.
Really? That's crazy.
It's crazy.
So you're building a very global business. How does one build a global business when they have under $1 million in funding? Or you guys had $0 in funding, I think, in the beginning.
Getting really scrappy and creative with everything we did.
Okay. So how do you take on Paris if you're not based in Paris?
So we would have photographers that would refer other photographers, and they became our marketing tactic within the cities.
So
and
you
then
activated the supply side.
yes, we activated the supply side. We got them to engage with us in the platform, and then moved on with the customer.
How did you find the first couple of photographers? I'm curious.
A lot of searching, but the press feature on The Guardian really helped us to get our idea out there.
You got The Guardian to
Yeah.
cover the company.
Yep.
And then people started applying.
Applying organic. So that day, I got over 3,000 photographer applications. I thought
How did you get The Guardian story?
organically.
Organically.
Yes.
So you earned it. What happened? You emailed them or
They emailed. So there was a morning I woke up, I had an email from The Guardian, and I was like, is this spam? Is this crazy? And he's like, oh, I found your company, and you were the pioneers of travel photography in the US. You're the only
Wow.
company that's doing it, and we would love to feature you. And I was like, okay, of course. Yeah, I'll get her to jump on
Wow.
a call right now. So we did a telephone interview. 2 weeks later, the piece went out, and then the day that it went out, we got over 3,000 photographer applications, and it became a domino effect within the photographer networks.
Amazing. So some random occurrence happens that catalyzes it. What's your takeaway from that?
Press can go a long way as long as it's organic press. Yeah.
So paying a PR person to try to get you into something maybe is not going to work.
No, people know when it's an organic press versus something that they're promoting and you're getting paid to be featured.
Now, you were able to raise, I know we put $100K in or something when you come to the accelerator. You raised a little bit of money coming out of the accelerator, maybe $1 million or something?
1.1, yes.
1.1. And what people don't know is we syndicated you to the syndicate.com, which is when we do an investment, we'll tell our 3,000 angel investors, hey, we're doing this deal. You wanted to raise a small amount of money in order to prove that you could grow the business, correct?
Yeah.
And you've got the most amazing response that I can remember on the syndicate in terms of the multiple of cash that was offered to you. When we get
crazy.
back from this break, I want you to explain to the audience how much demand there was for this deal and what you turned down, left on the table in order to get back to work when we get back on This Week in Startups. Oh my God, LinkedIn Talent Solutions. I love this product. We use it. We got so many great team members using LinkedIn Talent Solutions. There's over 600 million members at LinkedIn. And why do they go there? Well, why do you go there? Why do I go there? The great feed, news, to make connections, to meet people, to share information, maybe to update your resume, your profile page. Well, hiring is so easy that a new hire is made every 8 seconds on LinkedIn. Think about that. And they will get your job in front of the right people at the right time, whether you need hard or soft skills. Maybe you need someone who's a great negotiator. Maybe you need someone who's a great coder. You're going to find all those people. And here is my CMO, Presh, creating a job posting for our new client success manager. And that's a position in our Toronto office. And he sets a daily budget and he sends the ad to find the right candidate. He also puts in some skills needed, writes a description, and adds additional screening questions. And those screening questions are so important. When you write an open-ended question like that, you can really tell who's really a great hire. You want the person who's going to write 2 paragraphs in one of those open-ended questions. LinkedIn.com, you already got it up in one of your tabs, so you might as well just cut the end of the URL off and put /twist. And if you put in linkedin.com/twist, you're going to get a 50 in the building just for visiting linkedin.com/twist. $50. Terms and conditions, of course, apply because it's such a generous deal. But go ahead and get started. Go ahead and fill those positions you need at the greatest job site in the world, LinkedIn Talent Solutions. Okay, let's get back to this amazing episode. Welcome back to This Week in Startups. I'm Jason Calacanis. I invest in 80 companies a year. I do this podcast in order to meet great founders, invest in them, get on the cap table, and then promote the heck out of them. Am I doing my job, Valerie?
Yes.
Good. Rate Jason Calacanis on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of an investor.
20.
Perfect.
Yes,
You got the answer
20.
correct. Awesome. That's the most common answer given is 20. I'm joking, but it does help to have a celebrity investor involved.
I think it's more the fact that you actually, and the whole team in Launch, they're involved in all the decisions and in like the growth of the company. It's not an outsider telling us what to do. Like yesterday's feedback, it was so on point.
Oh, we had a little office hour session. Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, wait a minute. you're completely right. And we talk once every 3-6 months or
Yeah.
maybe a month.
Yeah.
But you already know the company so well that the feedback you give us
Yeah.
is super valuable.
Yeah. So this is what I try to explain to people is it's a team effort. And even if you get somebody notable on your cap table, what it does is it opens doors. Certainly you're going to get a meeting if you have, I don't know, Cyan Bannister or Ron Conway or Chris Saka or me on your cap table. It doesn't close the deal. You still got to close the deal.
Yeah. You have
Right?
to show the growth.
You have to show the growth. So it's sort of like we can get you in the room, but, maybe get you an invite to the party, but
You got to do the work.
you got to do the work, which is what we say internally. So we send out this very nice deal memo. So for people who don't know, what an angel syndicate is a group of angels led by a lead. I'm the lead in this case. And we emailed them and said, hey, here's my thesis, my deal memo, Jason Calacanis, of what I think about this company, why I think it's the Uber for photography, and why I think Uber or Airbnb for photography should exist. And then we email it to 3,300 people. We had hundreds of people interested, and the commitment level, you gave us, I think, a $500,000 allocation or something?
It went up to 1.5
1.5.
in like 72 hours. It was crazy.
In the first 72 hours, we had 1.5 million in demand from hundreds of investors, and we still only closed 500.
Yes.
So we had to go back and tell everybody, sorry, no room. So you didn't take that money, and you said, I'm going to get back to work. Since that time, when did you close that round?
That
And then
was
what
in
have you
March.
accomplished? Yeah.
That was in March. And since then, we've been growing 20% month over month, 3x'ing over last year. So up and to the right. Yeah. We broke 100K a month. Yeah. So
I love
success.
Success. I just love when the chart goes up and to the right.
We do too.
Well, it does take a lot of the pressure off, right? Because if it's going up and to the right, then your team feels secure. The fear goes away.
A little bit.
Yeah, well, you have to have some, you have
Fear's
to have
good.
a little
It
fear's
pushes
good.
you to
You don't want to
continue.
be up all night. Like you're not staring at the ceiling at
No.
night grinding your teeth anymore, are you?
No.
Okay.
Only
once in a while.
Sometimes.
But that used to be kind of the first year
On
of
a
the business.
daily basis. On a
You're
daily
like
basis.
literally having panic attacks. I know this. Every startup does. It's not
Tapping for anxiety.
like you're tapping for anxiety. You're just like, oh my God, is this going to crash and burn?
Yeah.
And when it grows 20% month over month, you can have this nice security of it's not going away. It's real. You can't fake 20% month over month growth for more than 2 or 3 months. When you start seeing tripling, and now you've got 3 years of tripling,
Yeah.
is that right? It's undeniable, isn't it?
It feels so good.
It does.
It makes fundraising for the next round, I hope, easier.
Oh, it will be. It will be.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I try to tell people when they get involved in this culture nonsense, and listen, culture is important, but there's a level where people get too focused on culture. And I always tell people on our team, the culture and our portfolio, a winning culture, a company that's winning, the culture is great. Independent of what the culture is. It can be the stupidest culture ideas you've ever seen. But because the company's winning, everybody loves the culture. When WeWork was going up and to the right, when Uber was crushing it, everybody's like, this is a great culture. Because winning equals great. Right? That's it. Now, there could be fundamental flaws or whatever, but sometimes people get so obsessed with the culture, they forget about the growth. And that's bad. What is the culture of your company? And have you intentionally built a culture, or do you just tell everybody up and to the right 20%?
So we do tell everybody up until right 20%. Like we have to stay focused on the fact that growth is the most important thing that we have to achieve on a monthly basis. But we do small things that like build that company culture within. Like every Friday we do lunch and beer after hours. So it just makes us bond together as a team. We have a tough love hashtag channel on our Slack.
Ooh, tough love. Tell me about that. I like
We
it.
do memes of each other and we just make fun.
Wow.
So we just make fun of the team, and it's like there's nothing you can't say. So
Wow.
it's fun. It's
Nice.
just-
So people savage each other.
yeah, we savage each other. We bully each other a little bit.
Nice. I
So-
like this. So your culture is bullying and savaging people. This is a culture I can get behind. So anybody
Not
who's
so
not
much.
performing, You just tell the rest of the team, let's bully them. I like it.
Just a little bit.
I think bullying as a service is like no, you know what? So many people are soft.
You have to have fun. This
Yes.
is about having fun. You
Yeah.
can't forget about having fun in the process. And
Yeah.
it's tough as it is to be a founder and to build a team.
Yes. Don't bully people. You can have meme warfare.
No, we have memes, warfares. Like if you're leaving the office because you have to get your plant to the plant doctor, we're gonna bully you for that. Like,
Yes.
come on, it's funny.
It is funny. Yes. I hope
but-
that your ficus is okay.
Yes.
Good luck with your ficus intervention. Right?
Yes.
You have to put your ficus down today?
Yeah.
That's
So
really
we'll
sorry.
we'll like make fun of those things, but not on a personal level.
In good fun, yeah. So when you look now out at the world, and I don't know if you're comfortable talking about the ballpark revenue. Should we say it or not?
Let's keep it private.
Okay, we'll keep it private. Anyway, but let's just say you're starting to get to that point where a Series A
Yeah.
would be realistic, or at least a big seed round, because you did this very modest $1.1 million round. How are you looking at the world right now?
In regard to fundraising,
Yeah, because you could get to profitability at any time with this business, I
so we're
think.
breaking even point right now. So
Great.
that's a sweet deal.
Oh, so, oh my God. My dream is I wake up one day and every portfolio company emails me, we broke even this month. That would be the greatest. So low burn.
Super low burn.
Or-
We're frugal.
So do you want to be the low burn Pegasus, as I wrote about in my article?
Yeah.
Pegasus is skip rounds of funding. Do you want to be a low burn Pegasus? Or do you want to go big and be a unicorn and raise a bunch of money and block out other competitors? What's your thinking? Because you must have read the Pegasus article. And you know the unicorn stories of raising a bunch. What is your personal take on it? Do you want to raise a lot of money? You want to be frugal and maintain the cap table? What are your thoughts?
So right now we want to be a Pegasus. We want to keep the cap table nice and tight and
Yeah.
clean.
Right.
Um,
Flying above.
get back to work. Because fundraising, it takes so much time and we can be focused on just drilling down on Paris and the next 5 cities versus
Right.
just me being on the road trying to fundraise a $10, $20 million round.
Yeah.
So a good seed round would
Yeah.
be the best play for us right now. And then next year, go for the Series A late next year.
Great. Awesome. So when you're giving advice to your former younger self when you started the business, if you could go back in time, 2 years ago, you started on this idea, what are the 2 or 3 things that you've learned getting through the seed stage, getting to, the 7 figures in revenue level annually? When you start getting to that level, what would you go back in time to tell yourself? Just things to focus on, things to stop doing.
Oh, get rid of all the noise.
Get rid of the noise.
Yeah,
Unpack
get
it.
rid of all the noise and just focus on growth, which is the most important thing. And then the third one, it's all going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. Like a little pat in the back. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, you
Right.
got this.
You got it.
Believe it. You got it.
Yeah.
And tell the story. Because the storytelling part is so important for the fundraising.
Right. You have to be able to explain. And you figured out the leak in your game, you said, was
Market size.
the market size. Now people understand the market size. And you don't need every investor to understand it, right?
Yeah, some investors don't understand it, and some say, who's going to pay $280 for photos? And, well, that's just not the type of person that understands the business. That's
Right.
fine.
And if they don't, literally people don't understand that, even
They say
though
it's too expensive.
they say it's too expensive. However, it's too expensive, but you have done it over and over and over again. So
Yes.
even in the face of thousands of people having paid, these idiots still don't believe it. And they think
Yeah.
it's too expensive. What a bunch of dummies.
Well, it's our goal to, like, prove them wrong.
I know
So-
you're going to dunk on them.
It's the fire that keeps igniting us.
I
like,
just love that
yeah.
because there's nothing better for me than me telling a founder, like when we pass on an investment, why we're passing, and them coming back 18 months later and being like, we proved you wrong. I'm like, great, get in here. Let's have coffee now. And that's what you got to do. You got to go back to all those investors who didn't believe. You keep a list? You got a list?
Yeah, I keep them on the monthly update.
Oh,
That's
torturous. I
so
love
delicious.
it. Oh,
I
so-
love sending it out. Mm.
You send them, you have a monthly update,
Yeah,
not only to your investors, but to the people who passed.
yeah. But
Be-
for the ones that pass, we have like a little less detail
A little less detail,
Yeah.
but you still put the revenue chart in there.
and the up and to the right curve.
You put the up and to the right curve just to take that salt, that nice coarse salt. You know the coarse salt that you can feel it like a rock. It's kind of like a pebble.
Yeah.
You get stuck between your teeth sometime. It stings a little bit. You got to get that rock salt. You find that wound. You just gotta get your elbow in there and just rub that salt right in there.
It's just,
Oh, love it.
even when we were fundraising, we had such great traction, and people would say, no, it's too niche.
That is just so infuriating to me. It makes me so angry. I have a rage issue, I realize.
You should go to boxing class.
I
It helps.
need to go to some therapy because
Or try the tapping.
No. People saw the Top Tail interview and they said I probably have a rage issue because I threw my pen twice.
I was laughing, to be honest.
I'm having fits of rage, which I have not had for decades. And I am having a fit of rage right now. That you walk into an investors with this business and they say
Pass.
that they pass. And the reason given is that people will not pay $280 to take pictures.
Yeah.
When in fact, you have thousands of examples of people paying $280.
And recurrent customers.
And you have repeat
Yeah.
customers. Tell me about repeat customers. Are there people who've used this more than 2 or 3 times?
So we have one customer. He's amazing. He's used it 15 times this year.
15!
He's a solo traveler. He's a
In a
business
year?
traveler. Yes.
Well, hold on a second.
Yeah.
These idiot investors, the venture capitalists I send my portfolio companies to, you show them somebody who business travels, did 15 bookings in a year.
Yeah.
For $200 or $300 each, spent $4,000. Oh.
This is the second year he does it. So he's coming back and coming back and coming back.
This is why I really get very frustrated with my job, because investors have no idea what they're doing. And I have people who have venture funds that are 10 times bigger than mine. And they are so dumb that they can't see an opportunity in front of them. It's infuriating.
Well, they love AI and crypto.
I know. These same idiots who will buy $20 billion. We're going to
I said nothing to Jason. Like, this just
now you got me going on the crypto.
Like, he's gonna be infuriated
right now. No, it just makes me bonkers. Like, I watch people do really stupid investments, and then one that is so obvious, it's just like a straight shot to $100 million in revenue. We have a straight shot to $100 million, just like Calm.com. You know what? Calm.com had the same issue.
Yeah.
I don't know that people are going to pay for meditation. I don't know if that scales.
They're killing it now.
$15 million a month in revenue. I mean, these idiots I sent them to. It's embarrassing. Silicon Valley is embarrassing. The investors are so dumb sometimes. When we get back from this quick final break, I want you to give advice for people on getting into the accelerator. You got in, you sailed right in. I want you to give your best advice about getting into the Launch Accelerator or other ones when we get back on This Week in Startups. Hey, when you're a small business, we know that you are struggling to get everything done. You're typically under-resourced, and you've got to manage your inventory, you got your payroll, you're doing 100 different things a day. I know, I've been there. And your time's super valuable. So getting access to the money you need should not take any additional time. You should be able to get that money easy breezy, and that's why Kabbage has created a simple, modern way for businesses to access up to $250,000 in credit. Yes, the Kabbage application process is online, and it just takes a couple of minutes, and you get a decision very quickly. If your business qualifies, you can access what you need right away. I'm talking like same day, and withdraw more funds whenever you need them for extra capital. With banks, you are very limited with the payback terms. You know that. And with Kabbage, you can pay it off early. This is critically important. What if you have a great month? You want to just pay all that debt down, right? Kabbage has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau for a reason. It's because they've provided over 200,000 small business loans with all of this access funding. Our president Sam used Kabbage at our last startup when a large client missed their payment right before the holidays. That's a bummer, right? Well, She's a quick thinker, and she went and she got a line of credit from Kabbage and paid all her employees. The money took just a few days, and it saved the holidays. So get the money you need to run a small business. Just go to Kabbage.com and get started. That's KABBAGE.com. Kabbage.com. Credit lines are subject to review and change, obviously, and individual requests for capital are separate installment loans issued by Celtic Bank, a member of the FDIC. Let's get back to this amazing episode. Hey everybody, welcome back to This Week in Startups. Valerie Lopez is with us. She's going to be our 8th or 9th unicorn. We are going to make so much money, and we're going to make so many people look so stupid for passing on investing in you. It is going to be glorious. She's got that straight shot to $100 million in revenue. If we just stay focused, I believe she can do it.
We got this.
We have to do it. We got this, right?
Got this.
We just got to 10x and then just 10x one more time.
Easy.
Yum, yumskis. Easy. Let's frickin' do it. Now, you were based in Miami.
Yes.
We gave you 100.
Still based in Miami.
Still based in Miami. Which is really doing nice.
Yeah.
I love it. We gave you 100,000. Did you move to Silicon Valley for 12 weeks?
No,
what did you do?
So I would commute every Tuesday. Back on LI 10, we had Wednesdays, Thursdays, and some Fridays.
Okay.
So I would commute every Tuesday and then leave Friday on the red eye and then come back every Tuesday and leave Friday on the red eye.
So you did that for 12 weeks?
Yes.
So you really didn't take the commitment seriously, is what you're telling me?
No, I took it extra seriously.
So, but for these people who are like, I don't live in Silicon Valley.
It was harder for me because I was dealing with travel, time change, so jet lag, getting to the airport, changing to go to a meeting, getting the meeting with the investor, then coming here, doing the pitches, then sitting down and reviewing the pitches, and then coming to the jam session. So it was very intense, but it helped me stay focused.
Right.
It was like the only job that I had to do, like come here, do the work, stay focused, and go through the jet lag as easy as and smooth as possible.
So you literally did 24 flights. And you did that commitment, and it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out.
What's your advice? And, it's a bit of a test for people, I'll be honest. Like, I invite people, like, they're like, oh, I want you as an investor. I'm like, all right, yeah, you should come by the accelerator sometime. And they're like, yeah, no, I can't make it. It's just, it's a big journey. It's a lot of travel. And I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, yeah, San Jose, like, the traffic is just crazy. And I'm like,
I was traveling, 10 hours a week?
I know. I literally have people who will pass on coming to the accelerator because they don't want to drive from San Jose. And I'm like, or Sacramento. And I'm like, Sacramento's halfway to Tahoe. Like, I go skiing. Like, is this as important as skiing, or what's going on here? Everything's a test. And for me, being unwilling to come to Silicon Valley as a startup entrepreneur tech person, that's like somebody being like, I want to make movies, but I refuse to go to Los Angeles.
No,
I will never go to LA.
This is not for lazy people. That's what I figured. It's not for lazy people. And if you want to be home and learning, well, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
What is the secret in your mind of getting into the Launch Accelerator for people who might be interested in working with us and putting 20 sessions and 12 weeks together with me and my team?
People that are willing to do the work and that are not lazy mentally or physically in any way possible. People that are coachable, that's important, and humble. Yeah. Because you get a lot of feedback on a weekly basis when you stand up there for 2 minutes and they drill you down and you're like, okay, what should I do? Am I going to cry or answer and get better, come back every week? We started with 0 points on the first week and almost got to the winner at the last of the week.
Amazing. So for background, for people who don't know, in our program, every week, every company stands up and presents. Your class had 6, 7, or 8 people. 7. So we try to target 7 people every time. You were one of 7 companies. You each got 3 minutes to present. Took 7 minutes of questions and answers from great investors in the front row every week. So if you're thinking about going to Y Combinator, it's a bad idea because you're going to be one of 200 people. Yeah. And if you're not in the top 10%, you're probably not going to get funded or you're going to have a tough time. What you want to do is come to our program and be one of 7. Now, you can go to Y Combinator. Their money's green, but honestly, it's not as good a program. But every week we have the investors rank their favorite companies, first, second, and third. Mm-hmm. And you're saying you got no points in the beginning, and by the end you were starting to hit the number 1 and 2 slot. Yeah. And we do that because it really does give you an idea of where you stand versus your other classmates. You had classmates who were doing very well in your class.
Amazing. Like James from Torrey, he was number 1 every week.
Torrey was number 1, but you have more revenue.
But I had more revenue.
Right. So even though some people might be really polished pitchers and people might really like their business, even though that ranking is done every week, what we found is it's not correlated exactly with future success, nor is it correlated exactly with fundraising. We've had people in the middle of the pack be the number one fundraiser. We've had the number one company not fundraise. And we've had the bottom companies wind up ultimately having more revenue than the top companies. So it's one of the things that's humbling for us is you don't know which company is going to work. And as far as I can tell, you know what the common denominator is? That's just the most common trait for founders who break out in our accelerator?
What? No, what is it?
Focus.
I love focus.
Relentless focus.
Maniac.
You have to be maniacal. And so what happens is people like you get successful. You have this, you're shooting travel. And then somebody says, oh, well, why don't you also, drive people around and be chauffeurs as well? Or why don't you add this? Why don't you add that? Why don't you try a different business? Why don't you try building software for people who want to franchise this business or whatever? And that never works. You have to stay focused and grow the core business and learn more and more about your customer. That's, Valerie, why you are going to build $1 billion company. I am certain of it.
I hope we don't. Yeah, I hope we do. Yeah.
You're going to.
I don't even know what I was going to say, but yeah.
Don't disappoint me.
Don't disappoint.
Don't worry about disappointing me. Worry about delighting your customers.
No,
really, at the end of the day, delighted customers solve everything. I mean, how many people ask for a refund in the history of the company?
5%.
Yeah.
Overall.
Really?
Yeah.
And what is their main reason?
They're not going to travel. They canceled their trip.
Oh, okay. That's the but after the photos are taken.
Oh, no. We
Never.
don't. No.
They love the photos.
They love the pictures. They love the service, and they want to do it again, or they want to gift it.
Did you raise the prices at some point?
At the second year in business, we raised the prices, and we're going to raise the prices now. We did 10%.
Got it.
Increase.
And you're going to do another 10% or something? Yeah. So you're finding that as you raise the prices, what happens?
So we get, I would say, better quality customers that understand much more of the product and the photography service per se.
Got it. And I would think that the supply side, which there's too much supply, but they love a little extra money.
Yeah. They want us to give them more work on a constant basis, on a daily basis. They would be willing to work with us 9 to 5 every day if we got them that demand.
At some point, you said you might do other types of photography. You must get people who want to have you do their wedding. Events.
Yeah. A lot of corporate events.
A lot of corporate events. You don't do that yet, but you'll test it at some point, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So as part of staying focused, travel, then events, then weddings.
Got
stay
it.
Focused.
Yeah. But stay focused. Yeah. Own one category, a beachhead, and you're just starting. You're what, 1% of the way in?
Not even.
Not even. Okay. There you go.
We found oil. Now we need to keep drilling.
Got it. Yes, that's the metaphor we use internally. Thanks for remembering it. And the metaphor really is we've had people many times, and here it is. Oh, wow, look at this. I just want to read one review here. I booked a session with Stephanie in Paris on August 14th. Not only was she a very lovely person, but I was shocked by the quality of her work. My 1-hour shoot looked straight out of a fashion magazine. I couldn't be happier and will book with the company again on my next adventure. And I'm looking at this photo, and I have to say, that looks like it's from Vogue. It's unbelievable. Or Le Monde, if it's in Paris. I mean, it literally is gorgeous. That could be an engagement photograph. That could be...
She's a solo traveler, so she traveled by herself, and she did the photo shoot. So for solo travelers, it's great because they get to meet a local. The local shows them around, so they have company. So if you're on a business trip, it's perfect. Or if you're traveling by yourself.
Yeah, see, and can you do it for 3 hours and hit 10 things? What does that cost?
Yeah. 3 hours, depending on the city, is $450. So it's
wow. So adding an extra hour is pretty cheap.
Yeah.
It's $280 for the initial hour, and then what, $50 for each additional hour or something? Is that right?
More or less.
More or less. See, that's what I want to do because I have the kids. I would rather us go for 3 hours and then get a driver.
Hit 3 locations.
And yeah, if you had a driver for 3 hours, you could really be efficient. You could get all those photos out of the way the first day, and then all of that anxiety about did we get great photos is gone. You just get all the signature photos. Do a couple of outfit changes. I love it. Valerie, it's a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you,
Continued
Jason.
success. And if you would like to join us for the Launch Accelerator, talk to Valerie at You Might Travel, and she will tell you all about it. Or you can email me, jason@calacanis.com, my first name and my last name, and just put in the subject line, I'm not a loser. And I will read it. If you put I am a loser, I'm going to delete the email. Okay, we're going to
love
forward
this.
it to Y Combinator. Okay, sorry. Guys, don't laugh at these jokes. Don't encourage me. Continued success,
It's
everybody.
hard to be here, man. It's just been a whole laughing.
I know, exactly. That's why people listen to the show. What's he going to say next?
Hilarious.
All right, listen, continued success. It's a pleasure
Thank you,
to
Jake
work with
Hall.
you.
Thank you for your investment and believing in us.
Thank you for making me look smart. Really, we're in this together. Right now, I'm playing for my legacy. I already hit my home runs. I got my rings. Right now, my great joy in life is finding someone like you at that conference and seeing you succeed, and then getting to dunk on the entire community because they passed. And then I'm just like, you passed on comm? Oh, you passed on comm. I own 5%. You passed on Uber? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's too much.
Oh, it's so great. It's literally, let me tell you something. The joy of making money is minor in
Towards that.
comparison to the joy of talking to your peers and saying, oh, you passed? Oh, I didn't. Oh my God. It is I cannot explain to you the joy when somebody says to me, I know I met Travis and I didn't invest in Uber. And I'm like, oh.
It's too much, you guys. This guy's hilarious.
Sorry to pass. I didn't.
Well,
Make some bets, people. That's the number one issue. If you also want to invest in companies and you're an accredited investor, read my book, angelthebook.com. It's like $10 on Audible. It's $20 on Amazon. And then watch angelpodcast.com. I teach people how to be angel investors for free. And you can very easily visit thesyndicate.com and apply if you're an accredited investor. And then you get to read my deal memos, like the famous deal memo for calm.com or the famous deal memo for Shoot My Travel. And then you get to look at those deal memos and go, I wonder if I should put a little cheddar in there. Maybe I'll make a little bet. Valerie, soon your valuation of your company is going to be so good, you'll be an accredited investor. Maybe you'll be putting a little 2K in.
hell yeah, I'll be the first one in.
Put a little 2K in? Do a little 2K bet?
Yeah.
It's
Why not?
fun. Put a little 5K bet in.
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward, and
Yeah.
maybe a little action. You get a little action going there. Get a sweat. We'll see you all next time on This Week in Startups. Bye-bye.